Anthony Hartwig here with an East Palestine girls basketball coach's corner with Will Franklin, the glorious return as he comes back for another season. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and talking about the basketball team.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We got it. Let's start off with just a little bit of, update on how practices are going. I know you've had your players for a little bit now and you've been able to get a couple practices under your belt. So, what have the girls been looking like and how have practices been going for you?
Practice been going pretty well so far. It seems like this season starts a lot sooner than usual. It just seems like there's a lot to get done real fast. So, we're progressing every day, getting better on the little things, trying to get us ready for our opener November 30th. We had a scrimmage last Saturday at South Range with Louisville. We have another scrimmage this Saturday, another chance to get better against Edison at home. So, we're just trying to put everything together and get the girls ready to go for that opener on November 30th.
Yeah, November 30th is fastly approaching. What are some things on your checklist that you want to see the girls and yourself kind of accomplish before game one?
I think just before game one is getting comfortable with just playing basketball, getting out of, not so much worrying about, hey, what's the offensive set? What am I supposed to do? Just being able to play more fluid off the ball, just more natural instead of kind of like we talk in practice, don't be robots, just play off the ball, take what the defense gives you and just react to what's going on instead of, hey, on this play, I got to go here, here, and here, and just be more fluid with the game.
Let's talk about your roster and have a little meet the team segment and talk about the players that you're going to have on your floor this year.
Right now, we got 14 girls on the roster. I think 5 or 6 of them are seniors. I have 1 sophomore, and the rest are all freshmen. So kind of a unique makeup of a roster. We do return a lot of kids that have a lot of experience that started as sophomores. So we are bringing back a lot of girls that have had a lot of court time. Some of those kids as seniors are going to mention. We have Gabby Andre. She's ran a guard or a point for us since she's been a sophomore. A lot of experience there in shooting with us. Leila Martin, she's our other senior. She's our primary point guard. She's going to handle the ball most of the time and kind of get us kickstarted on offense. And then we return two post players in Jasmine Lute and Mara Zimmerman. Like I said, 2 more kids who've, had a lot of minutes starting as sophomores. After that, a newcomer, a couple seniors. We have Sierra Lee. She played last year for us. This will be her second year playing basketball, another post player. And we have a Ford Exchange student, Livia. Basketball is new to her, so, we're going to try to get her in the mix a little bit here and there so she has a good experience with us. Sophomore, Nevaeh Merriman, new player to us. And then we go to all freshmen. Most of them played in 8th grade, a couple new faces. So some of the ones you'll see off the bat that are going to end up getting some varsity time based on our numbers. Olivia Magnus, she's going to get in the mix, another guard for us. Emma Ginger, guard. Maybe he'll post a little bit. We'll see where we can fit her in. Marley Blythe, another freshman. She's going to see a lot of varsity time. And then we have Kennedy Andre. She'll tag up with her sister, Gabby. She's going to get some court time for us. Another sister, Madeline Zimmerman. She's going to see the floor. And then we have Sydney Uriachi, another freshman who's going to be another guard for us. So compared to last year, last year we had 7, 8 girls. Now we have 14. So we'll be able to play a full JV schedule and playing just instead of playing 2 quarters and having my varsity kids having to play a lot of those minutes as well down at JV. So now we can split off and have more of a, varsity and a JV program this year.
Sounds like you have plenty of returners that can bring some leadership to this team. What kind of a blessing is that to have so much experience on the floor and so many leaders out there?
It's a great thing for us. Like I said, these seniors, if you would talk to them individually, they probably can't believe that it's already their senior year and it goes by fast. We try to tell kids that, but they don't realize it until it actually happens. So my senior group, they've went through a lot. When they were freshmen, that was their COVID season. So they got to see us, have a great season that year. And then, the year after that was a little bit of a struggle. We had a lot of injuries to some key players. So those sophomores, they were sophomores at that point. They were thrown into starting lineup real quick and, they didn't really have a choice. So they've went through, a lot of ups and downs. They've been battle tested. Last year was a good year for them as their junior season campaign. So, I'm expecting big things out of them. And like you talked about, you can't replace experience. You can't replace leadership that easily. So they're going to have to do a good job of making sure, they can handle the ups and downs this season. And I strongly believe those seniors are going to be able to do that because they've been through different ups and downs throughout their careers here in basketball. So, yeah, we will lean on them to help out the younger kids. Like I said, our roster is mostly, we're split. We're a lot of seniors. Like I said, we have one sophomore who's brand new this year, and then we have all freshmen. So we're going to lean on those seniors, set a good example on and off the floor for our kids.
Let's talk about the schedule. We'll start with the conference and the EOAC. Obviously, always a very tough conference to play in. What do you expect out of it this year, and what do you think it's going to look like?
Once again, like you said, it's going to be competitive top to bottom. Any night's not a given for anybody. I would say right now, without knowing other people's rosters, just going off of who's returning where, I would say, between United, Southern, and Columbiana, those are the three top right now. I also believe Wellsville is going to be very strong this year because they're kind of the same boat we are. They started a lot of their kids as freshmen, and now they're, the juniors and seniors. So I think Wellsville is going to be, a team that people are going to have to, battle. And we've battled with them the last couple of years in some tight games. So I wouldn't be surprised if Wellsville gets in the mix up there as well. Lisbon's always a tough game for us. We usually, have good games with them. They come down the last couple of possessions, which is, pretty exciting as a in a varsity level. And, Latonia and I think Valley, rounding out, I'm not sure about their rosters right now. So once again, I think everyone's chasing United, Columbiana, and Southern right now. As long as Schroed's there, Southern's going to be tough.
You look at that, and the conference is hard enough, but you also have to test yourself outside of the conference. Who are some teams outside of the EUAC that you're really excited to play this year?
We got a little bit of mix of everybody in our out of conference. We have East Liverpool. That's always a bigger school, big game for us. I think we might play there this year, so it's always an experience playing down there in their field house, playing on that big floor. So it's always a good experience. And toward the end of our year for tournament time, so to get us ready for our first round matchup. An old EOAC team that we scheduled up this year was Toronto. Haven't played them for a while, so we got them on a schedule twice. Picked up Campbell again. I expect them to be a pretty solid program as well. And we picked up Cheney twice. We played them once last year, and it was a pretty scrappy game. So it's one of those teams that I think they're going to give us all we can handle, and it'll be a good test for us early on.
All right, Coach, one of the things that we also want to do for you is give you the time to highlight your coaching staff and the people that are helping you make this program what you want it to be from top to bottom.
Yeah, definitely want to, appreciate my staff. They do a ton that doesn't get noticed. First off, I have Jill Bear. She's my assistant and our JV coach. She's been with me, I think, about 8 or 9 years at this point. She does a great job with the younger kids and developing them into the players I need at the varsity level. And she's a good one for them to go to for questions and skill work as well. And then my two other assistants I have this year, Coach Fristic, she's a player for me a couple years ago. I always rely on her because she knows what it takes to win and be a champ. And, she can share some of those experiences with our players, and she knows the game very well. So she's great to have on staff. She knows my expectations as being a former player. And also have Coach Rutledge this year. She's bouncing back between middle school and with me high school. Once again, one of my former players. I think she played for me for, I think, two or 3 years. So she's got to see how the program has changed, and how, my coaching staff and myself have changed since, our first couple of years. So she's also a great asset to have with us. She's great with the kids. Kids really look up to her. So she's a good one to have as well. And then still at my middle school, I have Coach McKinstry, who, like I said, he does an amazing job teaching those kids the fundamentals and basics. And his teams, they always get better as the year goes on. So, I like to make sure, my coaching staff does get, the recognition they deserve, because they do a great job making my life easier. And that's all I can ask for.
You talk about the way you've changed since you took the job. What kind of ways can you really see yourself be different as a coach and as a person since the start?
I think as all, young coaches, when you first get that varsity job, you worry about every single little thing. And then as you get more mature and you've been around the game longer, you kind of filter out what are the things I need to focus on. And, the player coach relationships have changed. For me, it's been, I don't know, I think it's easier to relate to the kids now. I feel like as long as you can get that connection, it doesn't have to be about basketball. Get some off the court connections and get to know them as people. That's always good in the coaching realm. But for me, how I've changed is, I have a lot more knowledge now than I did 13 years ago when I first took over this program. You learn from experiences, you learn what works, what doesn't work. You can't, be set in your ways because you have to adapt to what your team needs. And so I just think for me personally is being more experienced as a coach and learning each year and still learning as I am now.
One of the things we're asking all the coaches we interview this year as part of our season previews is just about the love of the game. You obviously love it for putting so much time into it. We love it because we broadcast it. The players obviously love it as well. For you personally, when did your kind of love story with basketball start? When are some of your first times you kind of fell in love with the sport?
I've been coaching basketball at some point, I want to say for probably around 18, 19 years. I first started I was coaching like little league basketball, and parents wanted me to coach like their YMCA team, a handful of weekends. So I started there, and then I started with, different youth programs. I started out at Springfield, their middle school when I was working out there. And then I kind of just stuck with that. I was bouncing between, that's when I used to coach. I'd coach varsity football. Then I'd go to girls basketball. Then I jump into track. And then I got hired here at Palestine. And I was coaching varsity football as the OC with Coach Foster. And then I took over the varsity job here at basketball my second year here as a teacher. So it's one of those things I've always enjoyed coaching. It doesn't matter what it is. Football, basketball are my two favorite. Now with my children, they like baseball too. So now I coach baseball for those guys on the side, but I don't know if it's just like a love of basketball so much. I think it's just a love of coaching and being around the kids and trying to make them better every day, not just as athletes, but as humans as well. Make them good people.
Coach, we know you do a lot for the kids of the East Palestine community, and we thank you so much for not just that, but also taking the time today to give us a good preview of East Palestine girls basketball. We wish you the best of luck this year. We know we'll see you out there on the floor, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate everything you do for the kids, too.